encouraged to wear face masks and social distancing measures have been put in place. Seating is limited. Reminder, before the meeting begins, we ask that you silence your cell phones. We will be led in our invocation by Council Member Robinson and Pledge of Allegiance by Council Member Singletary.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you with thanks and praise. Thanking you for allowing us to be here tonight in this room. Thank you for keeping us on a daily basis. God, we ask you to keep the ones of the bereaved families as they are going through a time of sorrow. Please let this meeting be as you see fit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would you please poll council members?
Councilmember Richard Cook. Mayor Pro Tem Nicole Singletary.
Present.
Councilmember Sandra Fleming Crosby.
Present.
Councilmember Yamika Robinson.
Present.
Councilmember Wilhelmina Scott.
Present.
Councilmember William Askins.
Present.
Mayor Anderson, I find there to be a quorum present.
Thank you. At this time, we need a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda. Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor by a show of hands here and an aye from the telephone.
Aye.
Okay. Next item is the approval of our minutes. Approval of the minutes from Tuesday, March 8th, 2022, regular city council meeting, and the Saturday, March 26th, 2022, special called meeting minutes. The community meeting was held for the community leaders to brainstorm about issues plaguing the city. 3 items were chosen to begin implementation of the plan to keep the city moving forward.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, so motion by Crosby to
Second.
approve and second by Roberts. All right, next we have our presentations.
Y'all got a vote?
Oops. We ain't leaving the move yet. Okay, all those in favor by show of hands? On the phone?
Aye.
Next we have sexual assault awareness. Ms. Harriet Rose. You know, see Harriet?
Mr. Mayor, you all are going to get to hear from me first. I'm Ellen Hamilton, and I have the pleasure to see you all periodically, and I'm here to say thank you for 35 years of support of our organization. April 1st signified by celebrating 35 years of 24-hour crisis response in response to area hospitals. So you all have been helping us out for that length of time, and we had a formidable advisory group down here, many of whom are no longer with us. Mary Wilder, Pearl McNair, Eloise Cooper, Jeannie Daughtry. And when we needed money from county council, they would make a call to Rusty Smith and Joe King, and we would get it. And we miss them greatly. So I'm just here to say thank you, and Harriet and our rural advocate, Asia McFadden, will let you know what they're going to be doing this month. It's Sexual Assault Awareness and Child Abuse Prevention Month. But I'd like to say our dream, and it was neat hearing you all's dream, our dream is to, at some point, be able to give you your space back in your administration building and have our own space here in Lake City as a satellite crisis center. And we know that will take somebody giving us something or raising money to buy something, because we don't rent. So you all keep that in mind. Melissa Singletary, that worked for us and now works for Chief Cooper and works for you all, that was her dream as well. So you all keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and maybe this time next year we will be saying thank you for the space, and maybe we'll have our own. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. All that you all do. 35 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
35 years, give her a hand.
Hello, I'm Asia McFadden. I'm the rural Florence County advocate here.
And I'm Harriet Rose. I'm the trauma counselor for this city.
I haven't met a lot of you, but thank you for sharing your space. And everybody that I've met here has been really nice and very welcoming. So I do want to thank you guys for that. What we have is just an agenda of events that the Florence County Regional Orthopedic Coalition. And tomorrow starts the Netflix and Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And we have a table right here, and it's our newsletter. So everything here is not named for Florence County only, but Dillon County, Williamsburg County, all the counties that we service also. But for Florence County, tomorrow is Netflix and Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Thursday is Denim Day, and Harriet's going to explain to you what Denim Day is after I'm done. Then we have the PD Professional Women's Network Luncheon, also on Thursday. Saturday, during arts fields, we're hoping to set up a table just for some community education. So if people want to stop by, we can inform them on what we do, what it is, and just inform them on child abuse and sexual assault. Sunday on the 24th is the first Florence County Men Against Sexual Assault rally. Shayna Sullivan and Hope Hannah, they organized that, so it'll be in front of the Thunderbird restaurant in Florence. So we're hoping to get as many men as we can out there. It's going to be a good time. And Wednesday on the 27th is Denim and Dance, and that's going to be on Sanborn Street in Florence also.
Asia just mentioned about Denim Day, and we are going to have a Denim Day here in Lake City. It's going to be on Durant Drive. We are partnered with the Housing Authority, and we will have refreshments. We'll have banner up, and I'll be there and Asia to answer all questions about child abuse and also about our program, the sexual assault program. Denim Day is a campaign on a Wednesday in April in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. The campaign began after a ruling by the Italian Supreme Court where a rape conviction was overturned because the justices felt that since the victim was wearing tight jeans, she must have helped the person who raped her remove her jeans, thereby implying consent. The following day, the women in the Italian Parliament came to work wearing jeans in solidarity with the victim. So even though if you can't come and be a part of the Denim Day on Durant Drive, we ask that day everybody wear denim, which will be the 23rd. And when somebody come up to you and ask you why you wearing denim on that specific day, just tell them because solidarity, we come together to recognize that every person has a right to say no. Thank you.
Thank you. Harry.
I'm sorry.
Well, both of you can come up if you want to. I want to take this moment to read this proclamation, and it reads as follows. Whereas sexual assault and child abuse affects thousands of South Carolinians, not only as victim survivors, but also as family members, loved ones, friends, neighbors, or co-workers of a victim. And whereas sexual assault and child abuse is one of the most devastating crimes in our society today, with victims often suffering lifelong pain from physical injury and serious emotional trauma. And whereas volunteers and service providers in our community are dedicated to providing care to sexual assault and child abuse survivors through 24-hour hotlines, counseling, support groups, advocacy, medical care, and education. And whereas the 2022 observance of Sexual Assault Awareness and Child Abuse Prevention Month calls attention to sexual violence and child abuse and educates the public and individuals on how to prevent, treat, and heal from this personal violation. Now, therefore, I, Lovett Anderson Jr., Mayor of the City of Lake City, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Sexual Assault Awareness and Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. Throughout our community, and we unite to encourage all citizens to work together to prevent sexual assault and child abuse, support survivors, and strive to ensure a life free of harm for all residents and visitors. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand this April 2022. Thank you all for the work you all do and the care that you think about your community, because you're different than working in your own community. So it's everybody that you know. This proclamation reads as follows, and it's about fair housing. Whereas April 2019 marks the 51st anniversary of Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, known as the Civil Rights Fair Housing Act, and whereas this act provides equal housing opportunity for all Americans regardless of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, as well as to ensure fair practice in the sale, rental, or financing of property, and whereas the Fair Housing Amendment Act of 1988 added new rights, remedies, monetary penalties, and strengthened its enforcement procedures. And whereas the Fair Housing Amendment Act seeks to provide equal housing opportunity to affirmatively further housing choices, to eliminate legal barriers to equal housing, and to emphasize equal housing as a fundamental human right for all. And whereas individuals in the city have the right to choose where to live without discrimination based on race, color, religion, age, sex, disability, gender identity, familial status, or national origin. And whereas Washington, D.C. fully supports the intent and purpose of the Federal Fair Housing Act, local fair housing laws, and follow policies and practices in order to achieve its goal. Now therefore, be it resolved, I, Lovett Anderson Jr., Mayor of the City of Lake City, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 in Lake City, South Carolina as Fair Housing Month. The Mayor and Council will continue to look for ways to broaden our city limits by allowing diversity to enter with no prejudice or unfair treatment for anyone. Fair Housing Month. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Lake City to be affixed. 26th day, and this was actually from March, but we're getting it in finally tonight. And I think we all know the problems that we have in the community pertaining to that. And also with the other that talked about sexual abuse and other stuff. Thank you. Okay, at this time we have our public comment period. Note on public comment period. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per person, and no personal or verbal attacks will be entertained. The council is interested in hearing your concerns, but speakers should not expect council action or deliberation on subject matters brought up during the public comment period. Topics requiring further investigation will be referred to the city administration and may be scheduled for a later date. Okay, that's what it said. Okay. Floor is open. I'm your side. No. Well, yeah, but then at the end of it.
No. Please make sure you sign in and leave your name and address for record at the podium.
With the city clerk to count.
Ready.
Reverend Amari Bernard Hooker, 112 Deep River Street. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Administration, Council. And I do have this written, I'll give it to you all. The beloved city of Lake City, when we embrace moral language, we must ask, does the policy care for the least of these? Does it lift those who are marginalized and dejected in society? Does it establish justice? That is the moral question. And we at Wesley Chapel and our members, many of which have gathered with us tonight, and friends decided to come tonight so that the city could hear our offer of partnership with the city. The United Methodist Church encourages its members to speak out boldly on social issues from a gospel perspective. The Bible says in Isaiah 10, woe to those who legislate evil, rob the poor of their rights, and make women and children prey. The members of Wesley want to help our city and surrounding area understand certain issues in our city are causing us to feel that more has to be done, especially when it comes to gun violence, crime, and simple assault. We are excited about the coming recreation center, and we think that we will have a meditation chapel manned by area clergy that will be in the recreation center, as well as gaming rooms and sports resources. We are supportive of programs like Art Fields and the Boys and Girls Scout program, yet we understand, many of us around this room, that the primary issue in Lake City is systematic poverty, lack of jobs, and lack of career development.
Good evening. My name is Emma Martin, and I'll continue. We are very supportive of getting rid of abandoned houses and properties and want to help beautify Lake City. However, we ask the city to spend more time explaining the way of getting discarded properties off of our city streets and out of our neighborhoods. We know the city needs more recreation, but we would also like to provide some business after our location where young people can be trained, where they can work on resumes and receive child care so that young parents too can be trained for a successful and progressive life. We don't want to focus on the small children and disregard young adults, because if the children don't have parents who are whole, then the parents can't make them whole. We would also like to list some additional concerns our members have combined from our church. AC.
Good afternoon. Alfred Grant, representing United Methodist Men. We'll continue with the list that we have. Number 1, get rid of abandoned houses, more basketball courts, pedestrian crosswalks and walking trails and sidewalks in more of the city, more theaters, bowling and skating
bingo, and more community concerts and community movies, job training, business incubators, summer jobs, summer internships, grant fund information sharing, neighborhood watch, less random gunfire, more police presence, more programs to check in on seniors and homeless, more interaction with FSD3, more community worship services, more information about community events, more training for young adults about investment, more communication about some of the programs that come to the area, a real focus on African American community, some real focus on some of the racial healing and racism in our town. That concludes our list. Reverend Amari Hooker, Senior Pastor, Wesley United Methodist Church.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Mayor, could you get somewhere I can't hear you? I don't know if it's your mic or...
Donna, you here?
Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Singletary, and I'm here to speak about gun violence, especially on my street. I reside at 404 Patty Avenue, and on the morning of January 2nd, 2 o'clock in the morning, I had to jump out of my bed, run into my bathroom for safety. 2 bullets came through my bedroom. One came through the headboard. If I hadn't jumped out when I did, the bullet would have hit me in the middle of my head. And I feel that something has to be done. It can't continue. I don't rest at night. I take naps. With any loud sound, you jump because you think something is happening. But I don't know what can be done, but I know that something has to be done. We cannot continue like this. It's not fair to senior citizens like me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor, Council, my name is Steve. Excuse me, Steve Altman. I reside on Morris Street, Lake City. I have to tell you, I don't get a chance to come very often because I have another monthly meeting on the second Tuesday. I really enjoy when that, it's hard to say, when that meeting's canceled, so I can come and listen here. But I do enjoy that, and I will have to tell you, as things were said, there wasn't a thing said here by anybody that 2 or 3 things didn't run through my mind about possibilities of doing something. I remember years ago before we had to fix up the town project. You know, we had a paint the town project, and we had people meet, and we'd come up with what's the best things that you like about Lake City. One of them was rush 10 minutes, you know, and things like that. And of course, now we don't have to worry about that, but there was other projects that were mentioned, and this was 35, 40 years ago, that now have been done. And I'll give you one for instance, and then I'm just suggesting that you get a committee of people that are interested that can meet once a month, maybe an hour, whatever you think is possible, and y'all battle around ideas and then put it to leaders and y'all decide what ways you could go. But just quickly, and you were talking about place for young people, I thought of a project that would help a recreation for young people. It would help on the project that the city is going forward now with drainage of the city. It would help the new park and would also provide tourism coming into Lake City, all with one project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Not?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have to
present before you for your consideration ordinance number 2022.005 for the first reading. An ordinance for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, authorizing the purchase of property located at 420 James Street, tax ID number 80004-14-01, and all matters related thereto.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve ordinance 2022.005 for first reading.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2022.005 first reading. Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions?
Ms. William, for this ordinance and for all the other ones, so I want to repeatedly ask, can you please elaborate for everyone to understand what these ordinances consist of?
On this particular ordinance, we were contacted by the property owner. This is a corner lot, which is at James and Clover. The owner is asking for us to purchase it at $6,000. We have evaluated the property. Code enforcement has told us that we can divide it and put 2 homes on it. It's ready for 2 homes. So this is actually, the tax value on this property is $5,900. So $6,000 is within the range that's acceptable. And we would have a piece of property that we can develop in this community and turn that corner into a vibrant park with 2 new homes.
So that'd be 2 affordable housing for anyone.
Yes, ma'am. And we're already working in trying to figure out how we can keep it affordable for someone to say, I now own a home.
Okay. And the $6,000, would that be coming from our ARP funds?
ARP, which then will relate in some of the other things that we have on the agenda for tonight.
The ARP funds is the American Rescue Funds that we got from
The federal government
federal
for
government
COVID.
for COVID.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? If none, all those in favor, by show of hands. Aye on the phone.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for your consideration. I present to you ordinance number 2022.006 for first reading. An ordinance for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, authorizing the purchase of property located at 106 Lake Street, tax map ID number 80015-05-024, and all matters related thereto.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion for ordinance 2022.006 for first reading.
Move to approve ordinance 2022.006, first reading. Second.
Properly moved in second. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, this is Crosby. Oh, you said that was Ray Street?
Lake Street, L-A-K-E.
Lake Street.
Right across the street from City Hall. Charles L. Hodge.
Okay, and what is the value of it?
The tax value of it is $24,000.
Okay. And so what's the purchase value of it?
We're out for $25,000.
So why are you offering, if it's 24, why are you offering an additional $1,000?
Because that was the asking price. The asking price originally was well above 25. I got him down to 25. We started at 60.
Okay, question answered.
So my, we have to take a piece of property.
The reason why, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, Lake Street across the railroad track here?
right across the railroad track where the old warehouse used to be at.
Oh, okay, that property.
It's a deep concrete pad, and we're in the process of enforcing our motorhome, the tractor trailers, where they don't need to be in neighborhoods. So if we're going to do that, we actually need to give our taxpayers a place to put it. So we're going to offer that at a reduced rate of a monthly rental for them to put their 18-wheelers out of the community and into an area.
Okay, what size is that lot?
Let's says? Is
It
approximately-
says it's 1.74 acres.
Okay, and you're proposing to park tractor trailers there?
Correct.
Okay, approximately how many tractor trailers you think would fit there?
We figured that we could probably get at least 20 across that whole concrete pad.
Okay, and this is for every tractor trailer driver in the community?
It's offered to them, yes ma'am, up to the point that we have now filled the lot. First come, first serve.
Okay.
But if we go on to
charge
invoke-
a rental rate?
About 25. We actually just want to service the point that we can get them out of the communities.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes ma'am.
And you said it'd be approximately $25 a month?
We just,
Uh-huh.
yes ma'am,
Something like
we're
that.
not trying to,
Right.
we just want to offer a place for them to park and get out of the community.
Will it be a secured place for
No
them?
ma'am. But we are going, it's right across the street. We do have cameras that go over there. So those type of things we can monitor, but it is going to be at your own risk because those items should have insurance on them anyway.
So if they leave their own vehicle over there parked until they bring their trailer or
The
their truck?
trailer itself is the only thing we're accepting over there because there's no problem with the actual cab being at their residence, correct?
As of right now, they're not, we don't have any community complaints about that, but we would encourage them to bring their tractor and trailer to that location because of the weight of what we have on those roads and because of what we may have underlined as far as the piping, the wiring and stuff like that from other agencies like water, gas companies, stuff like that. We would encourage them to bring the tractor and the trailer. Those things get really heavy.
When we have
Okay,
issues,
let's go back. In the case where you said you're only encouraging the tractor trailers or whatever, but if they wanted to park their personal vehicle there, say if they live out in the community, maybe in the rural area, and wanted to have to drive their vehicle to get to the trailer, would they be allowed to do that?
no ma'am.
I think the main concern, the weight of the tractor trailer, 'cause I saw one bog down in front of my house. And that place being equipped to maintain those 18-wheelers and the load they have on there. And cars can easily be parked, they say at home or somewhere else. But it wouldn't serve the purpose to get a parking lot with cars. We're trying to get these tractor trailers off the streets and, in front of their house and stuff like that and take it down the streets. That's my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that, but at the same time, I think they should be given the option to park their personal vehicle there because of certain, sometimes extenuating circumstances. I think that should be considered. Whether or not they need to, but I think the option should be made available to them.
Well, right now, we're just starting, so this is an initial move to alleviate some of the stress. We get calls, we get people
Yeah,
coming
even though
by.
we just get started, I still
Hold
think
on,
that
hold on,
option
hold
should
on,
be made
council
available
member,
now.
hold
in the
on,
beginning.
council member, hold on. I'm not finished,
Pardon?
I'm not finished.
Oh, you had finished?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'll allow you gravity of completion.
So now where we are with the parking situation, we have some drivers that have fuel in the yards, which is very dangerous. We have some that are in places where there's poor infrastructure to begin with, where the pipes that are underground, drainage pipes are soft or broken over the years of usage. The refrigerator trucks run all night long, and of course, Lake City is a community of aging people. We have a lot of longevity in Lake City, and it scares them. And when you get those kind of calls and you get the seniors that are asking about what can we do and how can we do it, we have to do it in a legal manner. And I'm sure any of us
Well, I was addressing personal vehicles. I wasn't addressing the trucks. I have no problems with the tractor trailers. I'm addressing the option of being able to park their personal vehicle there.
at this particular point, personal vehicles will not be parked there.
Well, I mean, why?
We'll have that
What's the
discussion.
rationale behind it?
We'll have that discussion at a later time once we talk with police chief, fire chief, and some of the others that deal with public safety.
Well, I think, well, council needs to be involved in that too.
That's all well and good, but as we said, as for now, personal vehicles will not be allowed to park there.
Well, I think that we need to have further discussion on that with council
That's fine,
involved.
but as of now,
Well, I'm not gonna go back and forth, but I think still, council needs to be involved. And also these tractor trailer drivers, need to get some input from them.
they'll have theirs, but one step at a time, we gotta get there. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, at this time, we need a, vote to approve, yea or nay.
Call for the vote.
Okay. At this time, we need to approve the vote for ordinance 2022.006, first reading, and all those in favor, by show of hands.
Councilmember Crosby?
Yay.
Your vote?
Yay.
All opposed. We good? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Mayor and Council, for your consideration, I present you resolution number 2022.020, first reading. A resolution for the City of Lake City, South Carolina, authorizing submission of an application by the City of Lake City to the Division of Community Grant Programs for the South Carolina Department of Commerce and all matters related thereto. This is a grant related to the repositioning of the Graham Road sewer pump.
Floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2022.020.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2022.020, final reading. Second.
It's properly moved in second. All those in favor by show of hands.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Question.
Question.
Questions?
Sorry. William, could you explain to the public about?
This, in the prior council meeting, we had offered for an evaluation of what it would cost to do the removal of the pump station at this location on Graham Road sewer pump. We've come back with now the cost would be approximately $845,000, of which $750,000 would be a grant to do this. $95,000 would be the city's share, and we're asking for your approval to move forward with this grant. And the city will have to match at $95,000, which is earmarked for American Recovery Funds.
So you want the approval from us to use part, the $95,000 from the American Rescue Plan funds to match this?
Correct, and move forward with the grant application.
Was this originally put in the plan for the American Rescue?
It was, yes, ma'am. This is one of the projects that was, there were 3 projects. This one, the water tower and Carver Street drainage and sewer lines. This Blanding Street, Graham Street, it's literally moving it from the state property onto city property.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor?
Councilmember Crosby?
Yay.
And next item?
All right, Mayor and Council, for your consideration, Resolution 2022.021, final reading, a resolution for the City of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking the approval of the new branding proposal and all matters related thereto. Back in February, when we came in and talked about the new water tower at the hospital, we brought this branding that we were going to put on it. At that time, we probably should have officially done this, so now we're doing it now to make sure that everybody's on page with it and agrees to it.
Okay,
That's what went to the hospital.
This is what we want to use going forward. It will be on the tower of the hospital, but we're not doing away with the seal. We're just trying to brand ourselves for the 21st century.
okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2022.021 for,
Move to approve
final reading.
2021.
Just, floor is open.
Second.
Final reading.
Second.
Okay, so you got first and this?
First.
First and second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Who actually designed this logo? Okay.
Our public information and our media
Ms.
office.
Donna.
Yes, yes.
Thank
And the page 2 shows the variations of the same logo that we can use throughout the city and still keep the same branding.
Okay. So we're not getting rid of the seal like you said.
Oh, no, ma'am.
We just, of course, but we just want to kind of get it a little bit more.
21st century, the youth, and bring it all together, you know. And if you, and Donna can tell you about the buildings, because each one of these buildings that's in this image belongs here in the city. City Hall, the Water Tower, the Johns Gallery, and the Continuum. So,
All right. All those in favor?
Councilmember Crosby.
Councilmember Crosby? We need your approval. A, your vote?
Okay.
Mayor and Council, for your consideration, resolution number 2022.022, final reading. A resolution for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking the approval of extending the contract between Green Fitting Audit Team and the city of Lake City for 3 years and all matters related thereto. Mayor and Council, our contract actually ended when they did the report on June 30, 2021, and we wish to continue with them for 3 more years.
Floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2022.022 for final reading.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2022.022.
I have a question. You're saying 5 years or 3 years?
Well, we're going to do a contract for 3, but we are open to extend it for 2 more. That's why we have 5 on there.
That's why I say 5.
Right. So we might as well say 5 because the pricing on this would be $28,400 and carrying it to $32,000 if we commit to this. Whereas before, where we are at now with our audits and what we've been able to do, this is the lowest that we've actually paid for audits in years.
Did you get a second time?
I did not.
Give me a second.
I was waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Floor is now open.
For questions.
I was trying to understand the financial impact on the bottom.
It's a 5-year term, so it starts at $28,400 and it goes up in 1,000 increments. Now, it also, if we have to have a single audit in there, that is an additional cost. This is the basic audit for the city of Lake City. We have paid as much as $50,000 in getting our audit done, up to $65,000 because of the way the books were. I mean, right now, we're at, last year we paid $25,000, so you can't ask for better terms.
Because we had a pretty good standing.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, good.
As long as we do the work up front, we're gonna get the residual at the end.
Okay.
Councilmember Crosby.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, did I understand you to say that there will be $1,000 increase every year?
Correct.
So, in my mind, that is premature to, I mean, say if it was a budgeted item, I can see that, but to plan every year, maybe that's something I don't understand. Can you explain it to me, please?
Well, as the cost of living goes up every year and they employ various people to do this on their payroll, it's just like we do here. We try to compensate and give a cost of living to our staff every year, so they're compensating that and calculating that in their proposal of cost to the city.
Okay, now what if they decide, okay, 1,000 is not enough for next year, for the next year. So you're saying it's $1,000 each year in each increment?
Yes? Yes,
Okay.
ma'am?
But what if they come back and say, well, we had to do this, we had to do that, 1,000 is not going to suffice?
As long as we keep our books in the order of which we're keeping them now, it will suffice. They can't break the contract. Now, if we stop balancing our books on a timely basis and we don't do a bank reconciliation for the next 12 months, then we're asking for an increase. We have no problem and we should have to pay it.
Aren't they?
Ma'am?
Aren't they the ones balancing the books?
No, ma'am. They're the ones auditing the books. The finance department is the one balancing the books.
Okay, so that's verifying what you've already done.
Correct. That we have followed our policies and procedures, and that we have followed all the federal regulations and state laws.
Okay.
All right, do any of you other council members have any questions? Okay. At this time, all in favor? Councilmember Crosby, are you there or nay?
Councilmember Crosby. Your vote?
Yay.
Mayor and Council, for your consideration, I present to you Resolution 2022.023, final reading. A resolution for the City of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking the approval of the housing program initiative in the amount of $400,000 from the American Rescue Plan, and this would be a rolling and all matters related thereto. As we talked about earlier, we're going to move forward with buying Jones Street. This is also committing $400,000 that we can now start developing and building homes. And this funds, as we build the homes and sell them, we would keep the money rolling and keep building homes.
Okay. The floor is now open for a motion to approve Resolution 2022.023 for final reading.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2022.023.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions?
I think you answered my question about the rolling fund.
Yes, ma'am. We hope to keep it alive and keep it moving.
No other questions? All those in favor by show of hands?
Councilmember Crosby.
Yay.
Next item.
Mayor and Council, for your consideration, resolution number 2022.024, final reading. A resolution of the City of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking the approval of an RFQ insurance bid proposal and awarding Rick Woodard Employee Insurance Company to provide services to the City of Lake City employees for 2 years and all matters related thereto. As we had our budget retreat back in March, we had presentations from 2 organizations. I think the consensus was that we need to train our employees and stick with Rick Woodard Insurance Agency. We do have planned in May 2 sessions, 3 hours each, to do an insurance training program with our employees, mandatory. We have someone from Chicago coming to present with the EAP. They're at their expense. We have people coming from APL, and Rick Woodard will be there to make sure our employees understand what insurance they have and how to use it.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve Resolution 2022.024 for final reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Are you ready for questions?
Just a quick question. I know that we've been, I think for some years, been using Mr. Woodard, but we also had, the HIB group,
HIB group, yes ma'am.
that also presented at that retreat. Was there any particular reason that we did not choose them, or Was it
Hip
just
Group
because we
comes out of
were?
Greenville.
Okay.
And Rick Woodard is local, and even on a Sunday, he's there for the staff. And we have a rapport with him. He knows the ins and outs of each of our employees and what they're going through, and pretty much can lead them, hold their hand through the process. And some of our employees need that. And I'm not beating his drum, but when you can pick up the phone on a Sunday and get someone at the other end because you want answers on insurance, that's a good thing. And he does care about us. You know, what he talked about in that meeting was genuine.
Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor?
Councilmember Crosby?
Next item.
All right, Mayor and Council, for your consideration, resolution number 22.2025, final reading. A resolution for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking the approval to fund the e-sport equipment and all matters related thereto. Mayor and Council, as you remember, we had a meeting at the Senior Center, and one of the items that came up was e-sports to help develop and keep our youth out of the streets and give them something other than basketball, baseball, and so forth. This is a $25,200 proposal. The police department has a youth fund that they're going to contribute $5,000 to. I'm asking for authorization to spend $20,200 to buy the equipment for 12 units to offer to our youth for esports.
Floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2022.025.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2022.025.
Seconded.
Properly moved in second. Ready for questions?
I've got a comment on, is there any particular reason we're going with computers versus like an Xbox or PlayStation?
These are open up to any games that would work on that. Xbox, PlayStations are earmarked only for those type games.
Well, they're all interplayable now.
I don't mess with them, so I'm only going by what the experts tell me, that this is what would be needed for our youth to actually learn how to play esports and compete in the collegiate area.
Well, I'll play a lot, so it's kind of my area.
Okay.
We switched to Xbox or PlayStation so we can cut the bill in half and have the same experience. So
I wouldn't know, so I hear what you're saying, yes. Now, I have sent this to other people, and I've been told by 2 people, and also our IT company, Heritage Digital, is in the process of looking at it to see what we could do, if anything, to cut these prices down. So it's not like we took the first thing, and I hear what you're saying, but I can't answer that. I don't know anything about it.
So can you look into his suggestion?
I will ask them, yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Crosby had a question.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're recommending who?
Ma'am?
I know it's about the esports, but was it necessary to get bids?
We have sent this out to several people, and our IT company, Heritage Digital, has it in hand at this moment, evaluating it to tell. And from what they're telling me, this is the better price and the better equipment that's out on the market for the youth to use.
Well, yeah, I hear that, but is that the proper way of doing it? Will bids, have you sent out bids?
We called the various people. This is an isolated type of arena. We have called the marketing that handle these type of equipment for this field. We did not do a formal bid and mail it to them. No, ma'am, we did not.
Okay.
We made phone calls.
Isn't it appropriate and in line with sending out bids?
As long as we have the 3 quotes recorded in our records, we are within the guidelines of our procurement policy.
Repeat that again, please. I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
As long as we have reached out and gotten the 3 quotes required, we are within the guidelines of our procurement policy.
Okay, just want to make sure, that we can verify that if needed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all those in favor of?
And I will follow up with that. Just make sure.
Good.
Yes.
If we can find a way to, of course, save money.
Oh, I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why Heritage has it, and they're evaluating it, but they're saying that right now this is.
Well, is it possible at this juncture to just table this until we get some formal bids? I recommend tabling it until then.
I have quotes, verbal. We have not sent out a formal bid listing to do this because we were wanting to move with the what we had at the senior center.
Yeah, has a vote been taken?
Yes.
She didn't vote. Councilmember Crosby hadn't voted.
No, I'm not voting.
Okay.
So are we through?
Yes.
Okay. And we have, Mayor and Council, for your consideration, resolution number 2022-026, a resolution for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking the approval to reappoint Mr. Jamie Daniels to the Lake City Board of Zoning Appeals to serve another term ending in 2026 and all matters related thereto.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2022.026 for final reading.
Move to approve resolution 2022.06 for the final reading.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor by show of hands?
Question.
Yes.
Was there any necessary paperwork he needed to do? And so I see that he did a verbal, but was there any necessary paperwork that needed to
Did
be?
he fill out the application?
Yes.
He filled out an application.
Okay, so he
Yes.
did the paperwork?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all.
Okay. All right, all those in favor?
Councilmember Crosby.
Yay.
All right, city administrative reports.
All right, council, I have put in front of you for your review, our public information media department puts together a monthly media log. I've shared that with you. These are news articles, papers, advertisements that they have overseen and that has been published throughout the community. So I have put this for your review. Also, there is a list here on the 11 by 17 paper, which gives us the various projects we're working on, where the funding is coming from, and what status we are on them for your review. And also to let you know that as of last Friday, we've started hauling our own sludge. So I have put together where we have paid so far to Republic, and they've been so generous to work with us that we only have one pull a week, and that's on Friday. And so this bill should come down dramatically. Now, we have to pay our own dump fees, but we no longer have to pay the servicing fees. So these three items I'm giving to you to review at your leisure, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call.
What's the approximation we might save on that?
Well, over a 20-year period, we're looking at almost $2 million. And that's even after I'm allocating funds to pay for the equipment that we bought. So,
And let the citizens know what equipment we bought.
that's the sludge truck, the hoist truck that's sat out here.
Let
And
them know.
three-
We know.
Yeah, and the hoist truck, which was about $185,000, and the 3 20-yard containers, looks like a tractor trailer on the back of a truck. They now started removing our sludge from the wastewater treatment plant and going to Lee County and dumping it, which is a major expense to the city, and now we've taken that on to cut that expense dramatically. Also, Mayor and Council, present to you the financials for the month of March as of April 6th. The general fund revenues have come in at $5,706,000. That's 76% of the budget. The expenditures at $6,143,000. That's 81% of the budget. We have now overspent by $383,000. The water fund has $1.277 million. That's 81% of the budget. That's in the revenues. The expenses are at $1,093,000. That's 69% of the budget. We have surplus revenue of $184,000. In the sewer fund, we have revenues totaling $2.287 million. That's 79% of the budget. Expenses of $2,403,000, 83% of the budget. We've overspent our revenue by $115,000. So that is our financials through the month of March. Mayor and Council, we present to you for your consideration and approval bills list, bills 1 through 10, for your consideration and approval. That's page 50 in your packs.
Floor is now open for a motion to approve bills items 1 through 10.
Make a motion to approve bills, items 1 through 10 for approval. Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions?
William, can you explain to me what's number 8? T, I don't know if they can see that up there.
8 is T&M transfer. We had to repair unit number 935, and it cost $9,000. That is one of the big bulldozers that had a problem with the hydraulic system.
Okay. All those in favor? Show of hands.
Councilmember Crosby. You said nay, ma'am?
Mayor and Council, I'll now turn it over to Chief Cooper to give you his monthly report.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens of Lake City. For the month of March 2022, starting with the statistics, we get total calls of service, 862. For the month, traffic stops goes in excess of 150, approximately 158. And I will hand these out. The burglar alarms that we had that were serviced by our patrol officers, some were actually false, but we're looking at 67 total domestic calls in the range of 37. And I'm only looking at the highlighted portion here because there's some that actually fell under what we're looking at for the month. Vehicle accidents, as far as traffic collisions, we're looking at 30. Individuals involved out in the public for disorderly conduct, 27. Warrant service, we had approximately 26 as far as warrant services. And shooting calls, discharging firearms, we had nine calls for service. And those 9 calls of service does not pretty much dictate that they were actual shootings. It's like I said, we border up with the county, so whenever they hear shots called, individuals actually call 911, to which we're happy they're doing. We just, at those times, we can't verify whether it's coming from the city limits or out in the county. Because we know those rounds from those weapons, they do echo. During those times, out of those 9, actually for that month, we had one incident over on Lawrence Street, to which individual was shot and subsequently died from his injuries. To that one, it was deemed by the solicitor's office to be justifiable. Therefore, no charges was pressed on that one from the solicitor's office. An arrest was made, but no charge was filed against that individual. Citations, we're looking at 92 that was written. 16 involved vehicle license violations. We had 12 that were simple possession of marijuana, which is pretty much 28 grams or less. And under driving under suspension, DUS, we had 9. The incidents involving arrest, the total incident report count was 143 of reports that were taken. Arrests that were made from those 143 were 26. Warrants issued that were signed out from an affidavit for probable cause were 52. And we served 31 out of those 52. Also with the police department, we had a new hire, Ms. Brittany Hood, who will be joining us, and she will be assigned as a school resource officer for Ron McNair Middle School on Carver Street. We also had a new hire of Mr. Giles Williams, who will be coming in as a patrol officer. So he's already passed his first phase of the academy, and he will be moving on to the second phase, which is an 8-week course, to which he will be assigned to the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy, trying to attain his Class 1 certification. Full-time employees right now for the police department is 25. We have 22 that are sworn officers and 3 are civilian. As of this budget year, we are allotted 31 total. So right now, as far as opening positions, to which we do have some individuals that are going through background checks and also psychological profiles and things of that nature that the state requires for them to be certified to go to the academy, we have 5. Now, as this process goes on, it could go down to 1 person because the task is very, very tight, very, I guess at the same time, it's very pinpoint to the fact that they look for everything, which I don't blame them at all, because when you arm someone with a weapon and put them on the streets in anybody's community, you got to make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. So our process, which we have with the city, requires us to do a vetting process, which means that we do interviews. We do interviews between the police department, we do interviews with the mayor, and also with the administrator, and we also go out and talk to the applicants. We talk to their family members. We actually do a home visit. So like I said, we could get 5 people, we could have 6, we could have 10, but at the end of the day, once we're done with our background checks, it could just dwindle down to 2 or 1. So we're very particular about what we do as far as sending them to the academy. And at the same time, the academy has mandates also, so which some of the things that we may look upon as being small and minor, like maybe traffic violation or excesses of, speeding, things of that nature, a lot of traffic tickets, we may look at as being small and insignificant, but the academy looks at that being reckless. And at the same time, our agency looks at it as being liability, because you can go out here and wreck a vehicle and then we're held liable as far as insurance-wise. So there's a lot of things that go into factor in that. But we're taking our time and doing our due diligence, and we're trying to build a better police department. So it's going to take a little while, and we can't do it overnight. Our school resource officers for the year, as of right now, will be Lieutenant Calvin Smith, who's at J. Paul Trulup. Ms. Brittany Hood, again, is at Ron McNair Middle School. The Lake City Early Childhood Center on Matthews Road has Mr. Robbie Stone. And Main Street Elementary right now is unassigned. We have an individual that we're processing now, and hopefully will be joining us and be taking on that task of being at the school for Main Street Elementary. We have a lot of programs still that are still ongoing right now. We're still actually moving with the application process, dealing with the Girl Scout Troop 2722. And I ask that if you know any kids that want to be a part of the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scout, which is troop number 500, contact the police department and let us know. We have the programs, okay? Every month, every day seems like they want to know what we're doing for the kids, what programs do we have. We have them. Now we need the kids. And I was always told growing up, you have not because you ask not. The programs are here. Now we need your kids you guys are talking about to come do the program. It's no good to have it, nobody participates. So if you guys show up, we can actually do a lot more of what we have right now. Now, as far as there's always monies associated with the application process, which the city does not control it. It goes through the Boy Scouts of America and also the Girl Scouts of America. If we work together, I think we can try to mitigate that because we do fundraisers. We do have individuals out in the community that are stakeholders that's going to help us fundraise and can probably sponsor some of these kids. So don't let the price of the application deter you for what we're trying to do. And you got to think at the end of the day, what is the price that you can put on a child to help save that child and put them in the right direction? Nothing in life is free. You have to work at it. So let's try to get them involved and get them going.
Chief, what's the age group for the scouts?
For the Girl Scouts, we're looking at 7 to 12.
7 to 12 for the girls?
Yes, because we have the Brownies, they have subgroups within the Girl Scouts. But right now we only have 2 scout leaders, Miss Ashley Page and Miss Katie Edwards. So as we get more people to volunteer, then we can actually break that down a little bit more. And we can, it depends on the ages of what we have and how many staff members that we have. Right now we only have 2. And since I came in a year now, we've been talking about it, we finally got it and stuff, but we don't have the volunteers. So who do you blame for that? I won't harp on that. But talk to your people in the community, talk to your family members, tell them to volunteer. This is the time to get involved. You want to know what your kids are doing, now's the time to do it. Some of the community events that we're working with now, especially, coming up right now, we have Artsfield coming up. So the police department's going to be very active with that in the community. We have Juneteenth that's going to be coming up, and we're trying to plan some stuff for Juneteenth. Esports, of course, the video game competition, Tobacco Festival, Lake City Homecoming. Lake City is very active right now. It's buzzing with a lot of stuff. All we need is for people to come out. The food truck rodeo, if you guys didn't participate on Saturday, it was awesome. It must have been excess of 2,000 plus people out there. It's a lot going on. And I know earlier a gentleman mentioned about having things going every month. We can bring it every month. We can bring it every other month. Well, let me back this up. We can't do it every month. It's a lot that went on. It's a lot. Everyone, it was all hands on deck. It was a lot. Yeah. So, we're going to try to do what we can, but we need help. If we bring it, just show up. Many times we will have events, and people ask for events. Then when we have the events, we get no support. So you can't blame anybody for that. You can't blame the city for that. You can only blame yourself. So if we have something and it's posted and it's out there, just show up. Those kids that are in the neighborhood, your neighbor, tell them to get up and just go outside and walk. Just come on out. Just enjoy what we have. It's a safe environment and it's non-threatening and you'll have a good time, I guarantee you. And also with investigation with major crimes, because I know you guys want to hear about that. I can't go into detail about a lot of it because it's still ongoing investigation. But in the past month or so, we've had incidents that involve individuals succumbing to death because of gun violence. We're working those as we move forward. Out of the 2 that we had, we've actually had an arrest in 1, but we're working on the 2nd. Okay? These things take time. We don't know what goes on in individuals' lives to make someone act in the fashion in which they do. We don't. We only get there after the fact, then we have to figure it out. Sometimes we don't have support of the individuals involved. Sometimes we don't have support of the family that's going to pretty much step up and say this individual was involved or this person was the person you need to look at. Everyone has this policy, this mindset of no snitching. Okay? There's no such animal when a loved one is killed. There's no such thing. Okay? If you know something, say something. That's all it is. If you know something, say something. All right? It's good to talk about it at home. And some of you think it's awesome to talk about it on Facebook. But it really counts when it comes to the police department. You have to talk to us. Then we'll know. And I can assure you, all my years of investigation, working murders and things of this nature, when a person dies, we're not looking to prosecute the person that died. No. They're absolved of all their sins. We don't worry about that. We're looking at that connection between who may have done it. So don't worry about telling them this person and they were in this gang and they was in drugs and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. It helps us with information in solving the case. We can't arrest that person. So let's work together and try to make this happen. And also while you're out, I want you to be very, very vigilant about your surroundings and stuff because there are a lot of things going on out here. To pinpoint one, it will be impossible, but just be careful of scammers on your phone. Be careful of individuals in your neighborhood. Definitely, I want you to call your local police and let us know what you have. And make sure you're safe. Check on your neighbor. Okay? And hopefully we'll get back to the neighborhood watch and make things happen. Okay? But it's going to take all of us. The police department cannot do it all. I've said it once and I'm going to say it again. We are law enforcement. We can only enforce the laws that are on the books. We cannot create the laws as we go along. We're held to a standard of swearing an oath to the state that whatever laws that there's already been voted on, those are the ones we enforce. We'd love to change a lot of laws, but we can't. That's why we call law enforcement. Okay? So now is the time of the year when you have the elected officials that stand before you, these lawmakers that want your vote. Now is the time for you to open your mouth and voice your opinion about some of these gun laws, some of these laws on violence, some of these laws on criminal behavior, on probation, on bonds. Now is your time to open your voice, open your mouth and speak your piece. And it's easy to blame the police department. We get it. We get it. We're used to it. But at the end of the day, what did that change? You shake your head, no. Nothing. Thank you. So that's how we do it. That's all. Thank you. Any questions? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned about neighborhood, well, everything that you mentioned. But the neighborhood watch, I really hope that we can get back to that. And I'm hoping to do everything that I can possibly to help that come back in each district. And I was going to ask you, and I know it'll be a lot of work, but whatever is necessary we need to do to make sure that our communities are safe, we need to do it. So I was going to ask you if you could break down for each district, you know, the different crimes. So, like, for instance, I'm District 4, I can actually see, this is a whole city.
Right.
But as far as I can see what kind of crimes is committed in District 4,
Right.
so I'll know what kind of approach needs to be taken
Right.
to handle that. So, and the neighborhood watch is going to take everybody.
Right.
It's going to take everybody.
It will.
So, to grease that, I think that's a good start.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll definitely work on to be the zones that we have within the
Okay.
city. And we could definitely look at that. And I think that's a discussion that I'm going to have a little bit later
Okay.
with the administrator, the mayor, and maybe Mr. Charlie IPOP to make sure we don't cross any lines, because it's a very gray area, because I can come out here and say this zone consists of a very high crime area, and that can deter a lot of individuals who want to stay in that area. And it may be high on my scale, but not high on theirs, and vice versa. So I'll definitely try to come up with an idea and an approach with everyone's approval that'll probably be appeasable to everyone, and that it won't offend anyone. At the same time, it won't cross any lines as far as what we do lawfully.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that we had the breakdown before at the Crime Watch meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
But we haven't had any Crime Watch meetings lately.
Yes, ma'am.
So we need to get back to that so
Okay.
we can, take control.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor and council, that concludes it for us. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mayor.
Okay, council member reports. We'll start with you.
Well, Mayor, we have an executive session.
Ooh.
Thank you.
He said ooh. Forgot about that. We need a motion to go into executive session. This is to discuss discussion of personal employment, compensation, appointments, and other matters related thereto.
And also that additional language.
Also, in addition to that action for going into executive session, also going into executive session under South Carolina Code 30-4-770 for the receipt of legal advice relating to a pending, threatened, or potential claims and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, as well as the settlement of legal claims. Need a motion.
I make a motion that we move into executive session as read.